Welcome back, everyone, to Phil's Recap and Review Better Call Saul Season 2, Episode 6, Bali High. And wow, what an end to the episode again this week. Another great episode in my mind of Better Call Saul, and it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about this episode tonight. A slower, probably the slowest moving episode of the season in the sense of things that actually happen. So this might not be as long as our usual Better Call Saul podcast, but we're going to talk about everything that happened tonight. Another rich, textured episode of Better Call Saul. And this week on Better Call Saul, we have Joe Dirty Locks and Katie Crow. How are you two doing this evening?
Good. Loved this episode.
Yeah, me too. This series just keeps getting better and better for me. And every episode, for whatever it's worth, in its own way, is better than the next one. And I feel like the stakes of this episode were really high. And then it's a highlight of that interpersonal relationship stuff that you really see in real life, especially in the storyline, where it's something I can relate to, and I know a lot of people can relate to, the fact that you get a better job offer in a situation, but something about that other situation, you need to show those fuckers. There's something about being pushed down. There's something about the person not calling you back that makes you want to be with them. But we're going to get into all of that. If this is your first time joining us, please jump in the live chat and share your thoughts of Better Call Saul. Or if you're watching this anytime during the week, jump in the chat box and share what you think of Better Call Saul this season. And it's exciting. It's been confirmed for a season 3 of Better Call Saul, so we're definitely getting more of it. And there's lots of ways you can reach us too. You can call in at 781-990-8509, leave a voicemail or text. You can always email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com. Tweet at igotissuesman, tweet Joe at DirtyLocks, and there's lots of other places. Check out issuesprogram.com to see a lot of the other stuff. And everybody, the show's over. Have a good night.
Bye.
No, the show isn't over. Holy shit. Very fun episode of Better Call Saul again. And what's interesting to me, though, and what's going on with Better Call Saul is that, oh, wait, guys, did I forget somebody? Did I forget the most important part of our live show? The best people in the world? The motherfucking chat?
Chat.
Corey, Alex, Sam, what's Al, Red Sox in there. We've got all of our good friends that are in tonight to talk about this episode. Sam says, I like this episode, but hardly any Saul. It's funny you mentioned that's exactly what I was about to say. Catching up a bit because I missed the beginning, middle, but it was a good one. Says Sam Corey says, everyone wants what they can't have, I suppose. And welcome, Alexia as well. I think the last 2 episodes have been some of the best episodes of Better Call Saul for me. And interesting to me to note on that is Bob Odenkirk's character, Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, is less of a part of these last 2 episodes. And that's not to say the episodes he's a part of is great, but I think as much as I do love the Jimmy Saul character, and I'll always love him, it was one of my favorite aspects of Breaking Bad, I think he works better as part of an ensemble piece rather than everything constantly focusing on Jimmy. The original idea for this show, where it was going to be a half-an-hour situational comedy, basically all about Jimmy McGill and all about Saul Goodman, as much as I think that might have been kind of funny for a couple of moments, I think I'm so glad that we got this. But what do you guys think?
So much better, yes. Yeah, and they're really, like, everyone is shining in their roles on this show. It is so good. It's beautiful.
One of the things I really like about this is it opens the door for the creators to do more stories, to create this universe, to grow this universe. You can have a whole series about Gus too, which I would love to see.
Yep. Yeah, we've talked about that before, and we really did start to get that tonight in that direction where we got more interworkings of pre-Salamanca family stuff. It just
the twins.
Gets me high and excited in all the best possible ways. And welcome, Jose. Welcome to all of our friends in the chat room right now that are saying, and I also want to mention you can join our Google Plus community, the Friends of Phil, FOP. We're also a Facebook group, Phil the Issues Guy. If you search that on Facebook, Phil's Recap and Review, you can find it there. Subscribe to our audio podcast and all that sort of stuff as well.
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere. You can find us. If you're looking for us, most likely you can find us. We ain't too hard to find. So, Tim, welcome back, Tim. The twins were threatening Kaylee. That was one of the most intense moments, even though, and this is a credit to the series, too. We talk about this a lot through the weeks of talking about Better Call Saul, and I feel like I have to repeat as I say this, but this show is the best prequel ever. Straight up, it's the best prequel ever.
It is a tutorial in how to do this. So much.
It's more than just a prequel. It's standalone on its own. You do not need to watch Breaking Bad to know anything that's going on.
Joe, you just hit a home run, as always, Joe. But you just hit a home run there in the sense that that's what it is.
Shut up, Joe.
Don't shut up, Joe. The fact that it stands on its own and creates its own universe. And in this episode right here, even though I know Mike survives, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, Mike survives Better Call Saul. And ultimately, I was still scared. I know Haley survives too, and I was still fucking scared. What is that?
Oh, Mike's face. Oh, that actor. I do not know what his name is. Terrible memory for such things, but he is amazing. His expressions, he's so quiet and stoic about it, but he expresses such deep emotion. You know what's going through his head.
Always.
Oh my.
And
the cracks that his granddaughter creates in that stoic facade.
And the way that the character just simultaneously, especially when he's dealing with Hector, how he can simultaneously both be so respectful and so disrespectful at the same time. I've said this before.
In all aspects. He does it with everybody.
Is that what he called them? The old man? Mike has big
cojones.
Well, I would say
cojones,
but he said cajonitos or something.
Huge balls. Huge
huge balls.
Yeah, Jonathan Banks is the actor's name. One of the first roles I saw him in, Jonathan Banks, was in the original Beverly Hills Cop as the thug that Eddie Murphy beats the shit out of. He's the thug of the main bad guy with the weird pimple in Beverly Hills Cop 1 that Eddie Murphy.
He's all quiet. He doesn't like have any lines in that either.
No, a couple times where he gets in Eddie Murphy's face. Eddie Murphy throws him into the breakfast table when he crashes the whole thing.
Yeah, at the fancy restaurant into the buffet, he's got the yogurt all over him and shit.
And Raleigh again wanted to make sure he's on the show in the background there. Raleigh's noticing where the camera is, and Raleigh's one of Joe's cats that you can see. Photo bombing.
He's the star. He's the real star.
Corey Mitchell says that Jonathan Banks was also in a safe sex commercial in the early 70s.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wait, really, Corey? Someone goes, wait, Roy? Yeah, no. So you've heard that, Joe? I haven't seen that.
I think it's more like a high school PSA health ed class thing.
Scott Baio was in that movie Stoned when he was a kid. If people haven't seen that, Scott Baio's in a.
Those were great. The after-school specials and the
Zapped
PSAs.
was awesome. Scott Baio zapped with Willie Ames.
There's a safe sex PSA. That's hilarious. That's FJ guy. Corey says, yes. Al says he was also in 48 Hours. I don't remember him in 48 Hours, but it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
He's been in a lot of shit.
Years.
He has been a great.
48 Hours is great.
But even more than Breaking Bad, it's great to see a show because everything you want to say great about Breaking Bad, and you're not going to hear me say anything bad about Breaking Bad, but I say this a lot. The focus was on Walt and Jesse so much, and if anybody else, it was on Gus at times, and a couple of other people here and there, Saul. Mike did get his stuff in later seasons, but we really never got to explore Mike in the way that we get to in this series, in the same way that we get to explore Jimmy and Saul, and it's really, in threat of a better word to say it, delicious to be able to really look into Mike and get more. I feel like we're cheating on an exam, or we got extra credit, or somebody smuggled some candy under a table to us when we didn't tell our moms or something. Like your uncle goes, there, take some candy, don't tell your mom, because we were not supposed to get this much Mike in our lives. We thought we lost him on Breaking Bad, and we thought we were never going to get more Mike. And Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould have delivered us tasty candy under the table and not told our parents that are fans of Breaking Bad that we get more fucking Mike. And it's amazing. And Jimmy too. And Saul too. It's fucking both of them. Really, really incredible stuff.
Yeah, no, I really, really, really enjoy this. I really like just the way each episode starts out, and their heavy thinker moments.
One point for you, Joe, and then I want to go. What was interesting about the beginning part of this episode was every other episode this season has started with music. This episode started silent, and I thought that was so interesting. And in general, this episode's music didn't start to kick in until the second half of it. Really, really when Kim calls Jimmy. For the most part, it still existed.
No. Music starts in that first scene, right? It starts with Kim.
With the chia pet sign. With the chia pet, they opens up in the bed. Jimmy's sleeping, and it is silent.
Oh,
He's
right.
Where every other episode started with a song, a theme. This theme is Jimmy's silence. Jimmy not being able to deal with the voices in his head and that silent feeling that we all feel when we're lying in bed and we know we have to do shit we don't want to do, and you just feel like a bullshit artist and you're sitting there in bed and going, I'm not who I want.
He can't sleep.
He can't fucking sleep.
Oh, and the best part about it is that fucking commercial comes on, the new commercial, the one that's like the old commercial.
Chia Pet. And Joe, you're right. When the music kicks in, it's when the Dirty Dancing song kicks in. Bali High music. Do 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 do. Johnny, I always loved you, Johnny. No, the La Bamba music, not the Dirty Dancing music. It's
South Pacific music from the South Pacific.
Or that's what he's sing. But if that song's also the song that plays through the Bali High music, it was featured in La Bamba. But yeah, then of course there's this part when he calls Kim, this is from South Pacific.
Someday you'll see me floating in the sunshine. My head.
I love the face during the whole thing.
Her reaction, yes. Those actress.
You'll hear.
Okay, but yeah, she's really awesome. We talk a lot about people that what's his name that wasn't in this episode, Chuck, Michael McKean, Jimmy McGill, Bob Odenkirk. We talk a lot about Jonathan Banks, and I talked a lot about her in last week's episode, and you guys didn't get a chance to say it. This is another great episode for Kim. And she is an actress. This actress has
wonderful.
Great. I said this. I sound like the Ragnar discussion. That boy's got a future. This girl's got a real future. And I feel like last episode
she's gonna be a star.
This girl's gonna be a star. Because I feel like last episode's a perfect demo reel for her. She doesn't have to even make a demo. It's all she has to do is pass around that episode of Better Call Saul and all these amazing shots she's in, and she's gonna get cast in movies because of how cinematic it is and how she carries through on screen very well, and is really her own with this kind of material and this kind of visual driven Vince Gilligan. That's why he's very cinematic in his television.
The dialogue is okay. The dialogue is really great, but it's sparse. There's so much. Yeah. It's sparse, right?
They show you, they don't tell you.
Their stories are told visually through the music, through the lighting, through the cinematography of it all, the shots, the body language. It's brilliant. And they rely heavily on that for their acting, is the body language, the emotion that the actors can convey without the dialogue, and that is really brilliant. And that takes a lot from actors.
Yes, it really is. That's why there's so much talent laced around some of the silent actors of the Buster Keatons or the Charlie Chaplins of the world that could convey so much emotion and so much without saying anything. Or in was it Mel Brooks' silent movie too? Or there's just so many people have done and experimented with that thing, and I feel like you're absolutely right that Better Call Saul is exceptional at doing that, and all the actors perform. I think that's why it's good that they cast a couple of comics too, with having people like Michael McKean and Bob Odenkirk, who are both have a natural skill set to that ability, have an affinity to that ability. Big motherfucker. Sorry, Katie,
I just want to say highlight of this episode and just really growing on me as a character, Howard.
Yeah, dude.
My goodness, that actor.
So subtle the way he plays that, and the bitchiness that goes through him, and he's such a believable person. I've met that person. I've worked. Where his
smile starts 3 steps before he hits the room.
And do you know what he does? He's able to take the kind of comic bookiness of the guy from Office Space. What's the character's name? That the boss,
Lustenberg or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever his name is. You fucked Lumberg.
Kind
of bringing some of the douchiness of that character, but making him a real character, because he does remind me of Lumberg sometimes. But
okay.
Oh, just those fake smiles. Okay, like just that fake boss.
Give me those TS9, PS1 reports. Okay.
Or something, but he's a real person, and and you could see the look on his face. He didn't have to say one thing to say, I'm pissed off because my idol had a bitch at me because he felt like I did wrong because you went and cried to Chuck. She didn't have to say anything. She said something in that scene, but she didn't have to. It was all in the actors' faces in that moment.
Oh yeah, well he starts off so, you're not unpacked yet, and then as soon as she gets up to leave the room, he like turns and he enters his model pose and like one of the things about all those silent scenes and quiet moments like we have in this show is it really takes a slice out of life. Think about all those moments you're alone at home. You're not talking to anybody, and you still have emotions. You still have to do shit. And this show has a great way of showing us those calm, simple moments in life and making them dramatic enough to be interesting and want to know, like, oh, how's he going to deal with like sleeplessness, or how is he going to deal with this? Or
it's so relatable. Like that awkward moment walking with your boss who hates you. Yeah. Like it's so real. It's so relatable.
Having a drink alone at a bar at lunchtime or something like.
Just feeling
Let's
like
jump in the chat for a
second.
Right. Corey says James Gandolfini's eyes could tell any scene with no words to. Yeah, and that's to talk about a point Joe made about slice of life. I think that's one of the things that made The Sopranos special too, because it treaded on that too, investigating the mundane and how mobsters are real people too. What made The Sopranos great wasn't the mob stuff. I think other things have done that great. It's the family dynamic, not just the house family dynamic, the real life family dynamic between Tony's mob family.
Christopher and Polly, they've grown up together and know each other forever.
Exactly. So it's two families and a very much that same slice of life situation. Welcome. We got KLC in the chat. Welcome, KLC. Big Kev. Great to see you, buddy. Great to see you, Sam. Great to see all of our friends in the chat. Okay, so our episode opens up. We see Jimmy in bed. He's sleeping. It's silent. He sighs a few times, but he cannot sleep with himself living this kind of life. The sounds wake him up. The television eventually wakes him up, and it's the Chia Pet sounds. We talked about that for a second, and we get almost similar to future Jimmy, Cinnabon Saul, watching his own commercials. We see Saul sitting down, watching commercials on TV, watching everything, watching Senate. Eventually to the point where I don't even think they do this anymore, but they used to do this up until like in the beginnings of the 2000s. But I'm pretty sure
broadcast TV used to do it. They don't anymore.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
They play like the national, the end of the broadcast day, and then it just goes off the air. So then we hear the Bali High music.
No. One of the commercials he watches is a commercial for Sandpiper Airline.
That comes later, Joe. We get the Bali High music and the Dirty Dancing, and then there's a funny. Wait, let me finish, please. Looking at Foot, kicking balls, trying to sleep, playing knick-knack soccer, slapping target practice. He's stir crazy. And then the balls drop down. And then within all that, as Joe said, he sits there and he watches the Sandpiper commercial. Okay. And it's the same fucking commercial, just a different voice. And I'm just not writing
the other like the cancer commercial from that the firm did.
We worked really hard on that vortex background.
In the background.
And oh my God,
for weeks.
Let's jump in the chat. People said the commercial was right. That's right, Joe. Yeah, I know the commercial was right. I just wrote the notes with talking about the end of the scene. I don't have to go like second for second on the timing there. So, oh my God, the Davison, Maine, Hamlin, McGill commercial was the same cringeworthy theme as the old commercial. Yeah, it was. Using Saul's copy. And it was pissing him off because they were basically not just doing the same boring commercial. They were using some aspects of what he came up with without even telling him like the what he said. They just weren't having the old woman. They weren't using music.
It's also all wrong. Remember what Jimmy said. Jimmy said, I ran the commercial once for 30 seconds, minimal cost, at a specific time during Matlock after they've had their fucking pudding.
It was strategic.
It was strategic, and it had maximum results for minimal input. And then these fuckers come along, they retool the commercial, they put that fucking vortex in the background, and it's being aired at all times, including
in the middle of the night
at 3 a.m.
Joe, I'll go you one further, Joe. I think it's airing at 3 a.m. because they were cheap, and that's the advertising.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's none of their business clientele that they're trying to go for are their target audience. The people the old people, they're not watching TV at 3-4 a.m. They spent their lives with off the air broadcasts. They're going off and they're making their coffee, they're going out for their walk in the morning, they're doing their morning ritual shit at that point, or just barely waking up.
Yeah,
like there's no old people at these nursing homes watching this shit.
It's such just an aspect, a demonstration of control.
People in the
like they
chat
still air a commercial, they do it, and they do everything wrong, and it's just to tell him we're in charge.
Yeah,
we're the bosses. We don't care if we get results.
They blew up their
be our decision.
They blew their budget on the background in that commercial. They couldn't do anything else. And a couple people are asking if I've seen the Cookie Monster ad. I love that Cookie Monster.
I love that ad. Oh my goodness. Cookie Monster. And it's so relatable.
Have you ever heard the term, Phil? I watched Cookie Never Bakes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump in the chat some more. They need to advertise through Matlock or Murder, She Wrote. Maybe the price is right. KLC says old people do leave the TV on at night. The Golden Girls was something like that. I leave the TV on at night too. I'm an old person.
Old people do not leave the TV on at night. They do not want that electric bill. They can't afford that electric bill. And they were lighting fucking candles in the corner.
It depends. The generations of old people now are used to be the young people, and they don't give a shit anymore.
In a lot of assisted living homes and places like Sandpiper, there's a community TV in like the community room, but then they don't have TVs in their actual bedrooms.
Good point.
Depending, it depends on how nice the place is.
A lot of it. Having my mom in one of those places, a lot in the state-controlled place. A lot of it, those type of things, is if she wanted a TV in the room, we had to bring that in specifically, the common room television. But we needed to bring in the TV for her specifically.
Yeah.
So anyways, he's kicking after all of that, after kicking all the knickknacks and stuff and watching the commercial. He heads the fuck out of there because he can't deal with this anymore. And he's heading to the spa office, and he goes into the old office and he lays down in the bed, and finally he can finally sleep in that situation away from everything. And KLC says both my grandparents, 90, 104, and 104. Wow, awesome, KLC. And 72 all leave the TV on at night. I hope I can be 104 still doing this pod. Hi, everybody. I really
seriously, sincerely hope I am not any of those ages.
So I'm tired now. Damn.
72. Okay. Yeah. I can agree. Okay, with 7, but 90, 104. Are you serious? I'm not even halfway to 90, and I'm like, what the fuck? 90?
Okay, so Kim is
40
getting
more years at 40 hours a week.
Kim is getting ready for her day, brushing her teeth and getting her stuff together. She looks at the phone. She's waiting for a call from Jimmy because every day she gets the call from Jimmy probably at the same time. No phone call. She comes back. She wants to leave the house, but she doesn't leave the house because she's waiting to screen Jimmy's call to get her smile. And then as we play before,
cute.
You'll hear me call you. Singing through the sunshine, sweet and clear as can be. Bali high will
So he starts singing to her, and she's trying not to be amused, but she's definitely moved by it all. And
well, she was waiting for this call. She was trying not to leave.
Keep going, Joe. So I turned it down.
She was trying not to leave the house. She was waiting for the call. She was hoping the call was going to happen. And then by the end of the song, we realized that she was actually really was waiting for this, and it's something that he's been doing every day for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's been calling her and singing a song to her on her answering machine. She's not answering the phone. So she's really pissed at him, but she's not giving up fully on him. And he's not giving up at all. He's a persistent bastard for sure.
Corey Mitchell says, just to jump in the chat for a second, at 104, I'd start drinking heavily and doing every drug imaginable and eating pack 9 times a day.
You don't have to. They got you on so many meds, you're already in fucking loopy land.
Good stuff.
KLC adds, the doctors even said at 104 to do whatever the hell you want. Corey says bacon 9 times a day. Sorry, my head's
yeah. At 94, at 104, do whatever. At 90, at shit, you're in your 80s. Do whatever the fuck you like. Don't jump out of a fucking plane with or without a parachute. Whatever the fuck you want. Fucking Bali high, motherfucker.
Yep. So then he eventually talks to the woman at the front desk the next morning and stuff like that. The next scene is Jimmy getting interrupted by the shop owner as she asks if he's already been fired and stuff.
Why are you? You lose that job already?
Well, that's great. When he gets there, when he gets back to the shop, he like straightens out his room, pulls out his bed, and he's instantly smile on his face and tips sleep.
Comfort zone.
Home.
Yep. And she continues with him like, listen, Jimmy. Oh wait, the quote is fucked up. Okay, fuck that. But yeah, she gets in Jimmy's face.
Can I help?
Basically, what the fuck's wrong with you? Did you get fired already? And he goes, boo-hoo, you don't like your job. I want to get that line in there. It's really awesome. He goes, no, I wish I got fired. She goes, boo-hoo, you don't like your job. Some people actually work for a living and don't get free cars. And he eventually Saul Goodman's her into getting him some free coffee as they have a fun back and forth. I enjoyed their back and forth there. So then our next scene is him in the car on the road, and the cup just won't fit in. His coffee cup just won't fit in the fucking container. It is such a pain in the ass to him. And to be completely honest, I don't care what kind of car I have. This would piss me off too.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
The cup holder is very important.
It's one of the most important parts of a car.
It's like the breakfast, the most important part of the car situation. And let's just be clear too. I understand the metaphor of that Saul is that square block trying to fit into the round hole, and he is the coffee cup that won't fit into this world until he takes a fucking
it's a little bit more than that. She gave him that coffee cup.
Let me finish my point. And until he takes the crowbar and gets the crowbar and sticks it in there and has to rip it all apart and fit himself somehow into that life.
Yep. Now you can smash some shit.
Yep.
But you'll fit.
Because it's her that gave him the coffee cup, so it's.
Well, and it's the biggest coffee cup in the world.
Yep.
It's got to have a coffee.
Katie, the second biggest coffee cup in the world. Second. Oh my! Alex says. Alexandra says, "Fucking metric system." And oh my god, I had that struggle today. I was coming over from my doctor's appointment, so to try to get that cup. And yeah, it just sucks. Being in that situation just is such a pain in the ass.
Yep.
So he's in the car. The cup won't fit in. It's just a pain in the ass.
The worst is a cup holder that's too big that doesn't get smaller. That's so much worse than a cup holder that's too small. Cup holder that's too small doesn't even offer you the hope of a cup holder. It's just a hole for your change.
So he's in the car, and also the seatbelt doesn't quite go around him at first too. It's just one of those having just a bad day, having a fucking horrible day. So it's just life's just a drag for Jimmy right now. That's what I wrote.
Wait till he gets to work. It's gonna get better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna get better. So back to Kim. Kim's upstairs, and it seems like Howard comes and sees her, and he basically interrupts her from unpacking and goes, don't unpack yet. I need you to come help me lick the kneecaps of these clients that like you right now. Come over here. Oh my God! Someone said in the chat. I want to say Joe had a rule about no coffee in his car when he was a kid because someone poured when we were younger. No, it was Nick. It was Nick then. One of you guys did because someone spilled coffee. When you spill coffee in your car, I don't drink coffee, and I'll occasionally have someone in my car that'll spill like one drop of coffee in the car. The whole car stinks of coffee forever.
I think what it was is when Nick first got that first white marquee, there was like a large one of those Biggie Frosties. It was like fucking huge, and there was 3 people sitting in the back seat, and or 3 people in the front seat, 2 people in the back. I think Glowacki ended up wearing the thing, and it went everywhere in the fucking car, and like Nick was just fumed.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a fucking.
And then it was no more. It was like the How I Met Your Mother thing. No more liquids in the car. Yeah, there's a zero liquid philosophy unless it's alcohol.
Unless it was.
So anyways, not to get too far personal words. So Kim is back upstairs, and it seems Howard comes and sees her and goes, "Hurry up to the meeting," as they head down the road. And Howard won't talk to her. He's just pissed the whole time. And Katie talked about this earlier. It's a really true to life scene where she's walking. Howard's so pissed, doesn't say anything, and she's like, we gonna talk about it? We gonna talk? Oh, she's just like waiting for it, and he just doesn't say shit. And she eventually just has to go, it wasn't me that asked Chuck. I didn't ask Chuck to step in. He just did it. And Howard's just blank with anger. Nothing. Gives her nothing. Howard would suck to play poker against.
Oh, so bad.
Oh, his stone flat face, like he like. When he's dealing with clients, he has an instant pose that he goes into. Mm-hmm. His chest puffs out, his arms go out, his head cocked, his nose comes up, like the smile, like the whole walk down the hallway and the smile that popped on his face, like getting ready to turn the corners just in case he ran into them. But like that whole flat thing was all for her. Like, I don't want to talk, like I have nothing. Yeah, no, it's just he's
Brilliant.
great. He's great. So
really,
good.
Sam says, "Oh my God, Joe, that's so true." Corey says, "I drink coffee depending on the company. I guess I'm weird. I go through phases with foods and drink." Alexi says, "Don't drive over the bumps with that coffee. Yeah, don't do it." Kale says, "I really love this episode. 8 out of 10, especially for the mic, or good episode for the mic stuff and the editing. Yeah, the editing in this episode was super fucking tight at times, and the way it all worked together was really incredible. And it just is." It would be more surprising to me. It's getting to the point where if we had an episode that wasn't edited great, you'd be like, this is bad. But this was one of the best. This is one of the ones that should be submitted for awards or something. The way it all flowed with each other, especially. I just thought it was really done exceptionally well.
This guy Howard he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing.
I've liked this actor since Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Since he was inappropriate with his students.
He was Zach Morris's competition for Kelly.
Was he the one that dated Kelly in college?
The anthropology professor.
Oh
yes.
My God, Katie! I've watched Saved by the Bell of the college years, and because I loved Lyle Alzado so much, or not Lyle Alzado, Bob Golick because he was a Rita. I loved Bob Golick on that show. Horrible show, but better than the new class. If we're ranking
so much better.
Doing our Saved by the Bell power rankings, that would be number 2. That would be. Yes. I would actually put that one number 2 over Miss Bliss. I would put Saved by the Bell Prime.
Oh, Miss Bliss starts it one season to start it all.
Okay, different podcast. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I know I'm the one. Sorry about that. Someone says only watch the high school version. Each one is like a masterpiece.
The summer years.
Corey says each one was a masterpiece, guys. And I think it's very apropos that we're talking about Saved by the Bell in association. And I think that it's great that there's a
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, with the epicness of how tight of a narrative that both shows are. Really, both shows. That's the tight narrative.
No, that's not where the comparison came in. The comparison came in because Kelly Kapowski dated Howard.
Oh yes, Kelly,
an inappropriate relationship. That's how it all fit together.
Howard. Valerie
Fernandez. It's all about the epicness of both series and how great they are, and prequels and post-quills and all. No, it was all about common actor. 6 degrees of Kapowski.
Oh my goodness. So let's cheer ourselves up and let's get to the Mike scene here.
Mike.
Or other mental deficiencies. You're saying they're incompetent? I'm saying we have the right to any.
Oh, sorry, wrong scene, guys. Wrong scene, guys. I'm one ahead. Here we go, Mike scene. Now Mike is kind of heading towards the door as he stops and he sees the bodyguard, the bad dude at his door. He gets out of his car, looks and grabs his groceries. And I love how Mike pauses and gets his groceries. Like he's not gonna rush to the door to deal with this guy.
He's not
knows how to make his ass wait.
Yeah.
Can I help you? You know why I'm here? He needs an answer.
Well, it's great. It's not just about making the guy wait. It's about yes.
No.
Respectfully, I have to say. Oh, but yeah, Joe, you can talk. Feel free to always talk over that if you can.
It's about him not having to. It's not about him making the guy wait. It's about everything's okay. Everything is calm. Everything is normal. You're in a neighborhood. The guy's calmly sitting on your porch. He's not like in your house waiting at that time. There's nothing to like rush over there for. You don't want to make a scene in the neighborhood. Nothing like that. And that also shows a level of respect for everybody, for everything.
Speaking of respect, Joe, let's respect Saved by the Bell and how it really did cause Better Call Saul, because not only did Kelly Kapowski date Howard Hamlin, Leah Remini got started in Saved by the Bell, but Kim was on Franklin and Bash with Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zach Morris. So much connection to Saved by the Bell in this series. You think people that we're going on in a rant here? No, we're inside the looking glass here, people. We're Saved by the Bell is the prequel.
Yes,
the prequel of the prequel. Oh my goodness!
Everything comes back to Saved by the Bell.
Everything comes back to Saved by the Bell. When the alarm gets you up in the morning. So sorry, I was gonna start singing the Saved by the Bell song, but I thankfully forgot it. So
I remember every word.
No, I'll
That's
never
terrible.
forget. It's all right, Katie, because we're saved by the next scene.
Because
So Mike's heads inside and you can see Mike's on tilt. And I think it's really cool seeing Mike on tilt the last 2 episodes, even though he never is completely on tilt. He has his plan and he knows he's going to have to eat shit in this situation, but his wheels are always moving. But seeing that look in his face of frustration, it's again, another color for the actor to play. And it's really fun to watch.
Yeah. I really want him to say, I'm getting too old for this shit. Because that's just like that. He's just so like, dude, again.
And that's just it. He doesn't.
Okay.
That's where this show shines. Is he doesn't have to pull an I'm too old for this shit. We can see that he's too old for this shit. That he should be done with this shit. Like we don't need that like Mel Gibson like. I'm the guy that's got nothing to lose. What? Like, if you have to say that in a movie.
Well, in a sense, if we're playing that game, Joe, then Jimmy's that guy for him. Jimmy's Riggs to Mike's Murtaugh, I guess. If we're playing with that. I see what you're saying, Joe, because I agree with you. You don't need it. But in the sense that Jimmy is seeing Jimmy's struggle may have in a way inspired Mike to go more down that road. So in a sense, you could say that they are that's his Riggs.
Yeah,
I was just playing with that a little bit, but let's continue. I definitely agree with your point. And I see what you were saying there too. But we do get to see, speaking of being another character, Mike puts on his best MacGyver hat in this situation. I also joke that Mike reminds me of your dad sometimes in a weird way, like how I expect your dad was as a bouncer. How he'd be very calm. Listen, I can kick your ass and get you out of here with your face dragged across the concrete, or you could walk out. It's really your choice. What do you want to do? I could totally see your dad handling a situation like that as a bouncer, and I know your dad did that when he was younger. So when I first saw Mike on screen on Breaking Bad, I can't help but Larry popped into my mind a couple of times in the calm way he handles the situation. I can imagine when Larry had to get tough. That was how he gets tough in that manner.
Yeah,
Simba style.
The few times that I've seen him be a tough guy, it's not something I ever
want to see again.
No.
So our next scene, we're in the courtroom with Kim, and it's a case about Sandpiper. And I didn't bother writing any of this down, because magically we have a tape recorder now.
From dementia or other mental deficiencies. You're saying they're incompetent? I'm saying we have the right to any record that would speak to their competency as regards this.
Your Honor, it seems like the defense wants to have it both ways then. If our clients are suffering from dementia, then the residency contracts...
I don't understand any of this shit.
I was just about to say that, Joe. Well, a lot of this went over my head, and I needed the other dude to tell her after that scene that she lost, because I wrote in my notes, wow, Kim
the judge told her. The judge told her that she lost.
I know the judge told her, but in the argument when he's
considering,
I felt like
he's leaning towards the defense.
And well, here's the thing. Also, is part of like the things that had me confused about this scene is I understand that she's arguing, you can't say that they are delusional and can't like have these contracts and then say that they're held accountable for these other contracts. Because they're either delusional or they're not. And so I understand her argument. I understand that part of the case. But what I'm curious about is this whole thing is basically all just about the numbers, the accounting, and overcharging for goods and services. That has nothing to do with their medical records, really. Like, yeah, okay, whether or not someone actually has...
I'm going to interrupt you. It does in the sense of how much they paid for medication.
Well, I was about to say.
I know this directly dealing with stuff to do with my mother at places like this. Medical records are essential to how much it costs, depending on what kind of condition that they have, is how much they charge.
Well, here's the thing. They have you don't charge Mrs. Cleaver, $30 a pill, and then June $10 a pill for the same thing. Their Medicare is going to take care of that. Their Medicare is what gets charged and all that, and there's like group pay rates, and
still go through the process of billing, and the prices still rise.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, some of the medical records are unnecessary at all. Like, it seems like a weird thing to need, unless they're like. It seems like a weird thing for Sandpiper to need, because they could don't they already have that? That's how they know that they're sending them catheters and overcharging them for catheters, because they already have and know what their medical needs are. These are assisted living facilities. Like that's the part I didn't understand. Like, why are they trying to get these medical records when they they're assisted living facility?
Completely honest with you, Joe, I didn't pay attention enough to that minutiae, but good pickups. I want to jump in the chat here. Sam, who is our legal expert, said, in the legal terms, Kim basically got her ass handed to her. Great way of saying it. Yes, it does, because it also deals with mental issues and issues of competency, because they're looking to see a history of mental illness or dementia.
Right, and it would just seem to me to see that it would, if they find that, it only hurts Sandpiper's case, because if these people are have dementia, and then on top of that they've been overbilling the people with dementia, it only hurts their case, because now they're taking advantage of those people even more.
Yeah,
the law is a complicated animal.
The law is a complicated animal that I don't know enough about to go on too many rants of it, but I hear what you're saying, Joe, and let's progress. So she goes for anything, and she's killing it in this case, in my mind. At least she was putting up a big fight, but this all ends up getting into a big thing where the lawyer from the other case, the boss, the guy we met last season, at the end of last season, sees something in Kim, or uses this as an opportunity because Howard or no one else from Hamlin McGill showed up for this because it was an unwinnable situation, and kind of put Kim out to dry. This is another, we find out this is ultimately another in a long line of things.
It's back to the mailroom, essentially.
In a way, it's he's complying with what Chuck put out there, but also using his own unique brand of torture. And this guy sees it and tries to take advantage of it, and offers Kim a job, offers to pay her tuition that Hamlin McGill paid up front for her to pay them off the debt and get her on a partner track because he sees something awesome in her. He says, I won't ask you for any information, which I know we're always on our con men, beep, 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 lookout. I believe this guy. I think he really wanted her and wasn't going to use her for nefarious means. I could be naive in this situation, but I feel like this was on the level. I don't know about what you...
He was kissing a woman goodbye. Oh, no. Right. No. Did he do the same thing with Jimmy? I thought he did the same thing with Jimmy and threw an offer at Jimmy too last season.
Someone in the chat can correct us on that. I don't think so. There was a scene where they met each other, but I don't think he offered him a job. I think they just sort of had where he appreciated Jimmy for what he was. I'm not sure if he offered him a job. People in the chat, if anyone remembers that, because I definitely remember them meeting Joe. I don't know if he offered him a job. That could be it's a very interesting point that could debunk my theory. And because I felt like it was genuine.
Yeah, it felt genuine to me too. But there was
Sam
also
says it is a little sketchy that he's on the other side of the case, and it borders on unethical.
It does. I wanted to make the point too that none of the other lawyers showed up. Also because it's a losable argument. They all saw it as a losable argument, but they throw her to go make that losable argument, and she lost that argument in court. And it's not on anybody else's record. It's on her record. So it's not just throwing her to the wolves. It's giving her a ding also.
KLC, they have a confrontation when they first started the case. They did have a confrontation. I don't think he offered him a job. I think, if I remember correctly, because I think Jimmy was antagonistic about it. Like, I have you by the balls. And it was kind of a negative interaction. Now that I'm somewhat remembering it, Joe, but good thought, because they definitely did meet and there was some interaction between the two of them. I don't know, for something about this guy, I think he comes off to me as not a good guy, but a non-bullshit guy. I think that's what you were supposed to take from him about how he was treating the waiter. I know it's a small thing, but he was treating the waiter with respect and being nice and friendly. So because of that, it initiated him to me.
He goes there a lot.
Right. Yeah, he's a guy that's like treats people with respect and seems to be an on the level guy. I don't know.
This actor plays the same character or the same type of character a lot.
With varying degrees of dick.
Even lawyer. He plays lawyer a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Yes. Yeah, he does. Yeah, yes, because it's to cover. Let's jump in the chat. Kelsey says, yeah, they'd have an encounter. Sam says, yeah, because it's discoverable material that is relevant to the case, so it is easily a losing argument for Kim. They did a sit down with Chuck and Jimmy with the Sandpiper lawyers. Oh, that's what it was, Chuck and Jimmy and the Sandpiper lawyers. When the first time Chuck really comes back into the situation, and Jimmy's there as well, and they kind of push the case away from Jimmy. I remember that. Okay. They also had the interaction with Jimmy in the trash can. Yes, Howard cockblocked him on the job. Thank you, Corey. Rest in peace, trash can. Rest of that. Go sweet. spare trash can. Oh, we have our good friend Big J who is checking us out right now. Big J, welcome, buddy. It's great to hear from you again. Thank you for checking out the show. I'm going to set up your voicemail right now to play Big J. Here we go, buddy. Let's play Big J's voicemail.
Phil, what's up, my man? So, Big J from New York, man. I called you last week. Yo, you doing your show, or you gonna do it tomorrow? What's going on? Great fucking episode tonight, man.
Great fucking episode.
Great fucking episode, Bali. Hi.
Yeah, buddy. Great to hear from you, Big J. I think he was just calling in. As we know, the hotline works as a call-in number. People can call 24/7. I think he just happens to be calling right after watching the episode, not watching us live. But Big J is an awesome dude from New York, checking us out. Checked us out last week in the afternoon show. So hopefully he will check this out at a later point and get to hear his message and be like, oh, shit, motherfucker. But awesome episode. Really fun stuff. And
Great.
Big J, thank
Bali,
you.
hi.
Awesome call.
Thank you.
Last week, and thank you for calling back again, buddy. You're fucking awesome. The chat Sam says Big J, fucking great. Vince Gilligan just hates shiny metal things. Howard cockblocked him on the job. Maybe you can text Big J and try to get him in there. Maybe I will. I'll tell. But I know he has kids, and it's kind of late at night. So let me.
That's funny you say. Vince Gilligan hates shiny metal things, man, because he likes those shiny tip boots. He liked that shiny gun in Mike's hand in the night scene when he was getting home.
Flashy stuff.
Like that thing was what you could see that chrome from across the street in that long shot.
I definitely I miss, speaking of shiny things under people. It made me think of the moon coat, the moon jacket. No Chuck tonight.
You got that too.
I miss Chuck. I miss Chuck, but I don't think the episode needed him. But he was mentioned. He was there without. No,
that would have felt like cramming in a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So I did send a text off to Big J, and if he's awake, maybe he can call in and share his thoughts about the episode. If not, we'll catch up with him at a later time. Thank you for calling and leaving a message, buddy. So off to Mike's at night, and he's scouting out his house, and there's a lot of tension. He sees the welcome mat. He sees some footprints on the welcome mat that we learn what his little MacGyver tool was.
This is great.
Yeah, really awesome stuff to get to see what Mike was doing, because I had no clue what he was doing at the time, and it really is MacGyver-like skills.
I thought it was one of three things: footprints or some sort of flammable combustible thing. I don't know if that paper is.
Carbon
and then
paper.
number three was some other MacGyver shit that I just don't know. But my first thing was it was for footprints.
Yeah.
It was to see if anybody comes to the door.
My first thought was that as well, or not footprints, some sort of mark to see if people are there. I didn't think footprints for whatever reason, because it's like the How I Met Your Mother thing. We thought of traditional garb for the head, but we didn't think of hat. I didn't think of the obvious thing in the situation. And I knew he wasn't going to kill him, because that might have been extreme in the situation. Anna Banana, please shout out to Neil, my boyfriend, who's watching with him. Neil, huge hello.
Hi, Neil.
Anna, Anna's one of our favorite listeners, and it's great to have you joining us tonight, watching some Better Call Saul. Great to see you, buddy, and huge shout out to Neil. Thank you, my friend, for checking out the show and checking out the stream, and congratulations to being around such an amazingly cute puppy. Your dog, that big fluffy, giant white fluffiness of beautifulness, Anna's puppy. Oh, beautiful fucking puppy, Katie. I'll show you pictures when we're off the air. It's a great looking puppy.
I love puppies.
Sam says hello, Neil and Anna, and
I read that as hello, Neil and anal. I was like, what?
Hello, Neil.
Wow. Welcome to the show, Neil. Welcome
to my goodness.
Oh my goodness!
I got the hello, welcome, chat.
Sam, don't you worry. I'll answer that question at the end, but I think we can answer that question in the chat in the Friends of Phil group, asking if we'll be covering a certain show, but we'll talk about that later. But no, to answer your question quickly, Sam, no, it's not going to interfere. So Joe and Kate can check out the chat if they're curious.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get to Game of Thrones with fear on. Mike's
gonna scout out. Mike's gonna scout out his show and scout out his whole apartment, and it's just very silent. And this is the scene that I was talking about at the beginning, where we get a lot of tension, even though we know Mike's okay.
He clears it room by room. He's going, well, we know something's going down. And you don't know if he's going to get shot, if he's going to end up in the hospital, if he's going to if he's going to have murdered people on his floor.
Oh.
Like, you just don't know. I mean, you do know that he lives, obviously, but.
And should he teach some other characters in AMC how to clear a room? So, because Mike really makes sure he looks at every situation and figures out and really knows how to.
Quiet, deliberate.
I would want Mike on my zombie team.
Yep.
I'd be Mike's shit buddy any day of the week if he deemed me worthy. So Mike checks a door and he sees if anyone breaks in. He heads in, cocked with his gun and ready. Lots of tension as he checks the place. He hears something in the other room, and he turns on the TV, and it's a giant infomercial with what's his name, the guy that's dead, Billy. What was that? The name of the infomercial guy? Billy Bob Bebbs or whatever the hell his name is.
Oh right, yeah.
He is the dude. He's dead. So the infomercial comes out, and brilliant idea. They come out of the room, goes, oh, what the fuck's the TV? Mike grabs the remote, turns it on. And these two guys come in with their guns, and Mike, initially I'm like, is he gonna shoot them? And no, he beats them down with the door and the guns, and he goes, what are you guys here for? We're here to make you take the $5,000. We're here to scare you. And Mike goes, well, try harder next time. You're bad at this.
Seriously. Oi.
Welcome, Craft Mama.
He doesn't want to shoot his gun if he doesn't have to.
Nope.
Corey says, Mike,
you don't want to ever have dead people on your floor if you don't have to. Like, that's.
Corey says Mike needs no shit buddy. Yeah. Well, he did.
Everybody needs a shit buddy.
Jesse, in fairness, I know what you're saying. In fairness, Jesse Pinkman was a good shit buddy for Mike in Breaking Bad when it came down to it. But I agree. Mike's the leader. Mike's shit buddy. The pro shit buddy. He's leading the charge. If anyone doesn't,
classes on shit buddy.
On shit buddy, yep. I know he doesn't need one, but I do, says Sam. Mike could be Sam's shit buddy. Craft Mama, good morning. Great to see you. And yes, Babyface is in the house. Or Creepy Phil. wait, we go. If I could do my creepy look there. So, okay. So Mike has the blood on the gun, and I think Joe and Kate were kind of talking about this, but having blood all over the floor, it's just a bad.
My God, what is taking you so long? Put your hands under the fucking water and wash them off. You're like,
he was doing it very gingerly.
Drop a blood on my pinky. Got that one. Oh, no, let me get this knuckle. Like, come on. Oh, it was kind of like barely turns the fucking water on.
Corey says, oddly, though, Mike liked Jesse. He hated Walt. I think Mike liked Jesse because I think Mike appreciates earnestness, regardless of what kind of person it's coming from. I think if someone's completely, and I think, say what you want about the bad things in the life that Jesse Pinkman has done, but I think Jesse Pinkman's not it. Especially where the person he was when Mike met him was like almost an innocent canvas of a person. And I think it's why Walt took such advantage of Jesse in some situations.
Yes.
And knew that for acceptance, Jesse would go along with a lot of things and just do things for whatever reason, like some of the things that happened at the end of season 1 of Breaking Bad. And so I feel like Mike saw him as someone that was just an honest person. There wasn't a lot of bullshit with Jesse. And I feel like that's why Mike appreciated Jesse. And with Walt's always hiding something, always has an agenda, always doing something, and never treated Mike with any respect because of the nature of being attached to Gus. And Mike, he always he couldn't accept that Mike was better at things than Walt was. So he was never could let Mike plan because Walt's very prideful. Mike makes a mean pimento cheese sandwich. Yes, he does. Craft Mama says Mike would be the ultimate zombie.
I got a feeling all pimento cheese sandwiches are mean.
Yeah, doesn't sound very nice and friendly to me.
It's a harsh word. A harsh word, pimento.
It's a harsh fucking thing. I'm not a pimento fan. I'm not a green olive and pimento fan.
I like olives, but I can only eat one. They're powerful.
If it's in a drink, I don't mind them. So he's cleaning up the blood, and as the music starts, it's really awesome editing in this moment where Mike's hands shaking, trying to wash the blood, and it's kind of going with the music, and then with the music, and then it just stop. He grabs his hand to stop right when the music stops. It's such a fucking intense scene. The Mike scenes in this episode were so well edited together. Again, that's not to say anything bad about any of the other scenes, but I feel like when we're watching this is what's great about the show. Again, God, is that when we're in the Saul, it's its own unique thing. But in the Mike stuff, you smell Breaking Bad. You can smell it. You could say it's in the air of that, and at least I could smell it a little bit. Sam says, I don't like olives. I never like pimento. Anyone get that feeling like Mike has the early stages of Parkinson's disease? He's not going to get to that point. Walt's going to stop that very quickly.
Yeah,
Mike, how many episodes does Saul have this season? 10 or 15? 10.
Not enough.
Not enough. Only a few more episodes. What was this again? Episode 6. So we only have
my goodness.
Four
more episodes.
But we've only just begun.
Episodes.
Oh.
So and 10 more for next season, which has already been renewed.
Yay.
So then the next scene, Kim's getting freaking fucked by Howard again, and the only thing that looks good is a salad, and Kim basically is just like fuck this, and she gets out of there. Then we get Mike with his granddaughter watching her swim, and we get a great happy
cute little scene.
It's so sweet and innocent, and
Papa. People in this chat, KLC and Craft Mama are sad. It's getting close to the end. Craft Mama says I need at least 22 episodes. It would be really awesome to have a really long extended season of this show, or just have this show not even have seasons, just have it come out whenever Vince Gilligan feels like making it throughout the year. Like not be at any set schedule. Just be like, I feel like I feel like putting out an episode today. Okay, dude, I'll put out you put out an episode almost every day. You just take like a 3-month break at one point in time, but other than that, he'd always be working. I have a feeling. So anyway, she's in the pool and she's playing in the pool, and Mike goes, should I come in the pool and play with you? And come out of the pool. Do you like it here? I don't know if I like. It's a cute scene between.
It's sweet. Yeah. Good grandpa.
I gotta say, as far as the episodes go, they're creating this like season by season. Like you said, when they first had the idea for this, they wanted it to be a half an hour kind of thing. So they're kind of writing as they go, and the script is kind of living. It's unlike Game of Thrones, where you have this source material that's so fucking huge. You could actually do 22 episodes and still have it like full and vibrant, and all the characters there, and all the plot devices. And
a lot of people think Breaking Bad, and that's just a credit to this writing team and this creative team, because Breaking Bad was the same way. Vince Gilligan said he knew at the end, like the absolute last shot would be a Breaking Bad, but ultimately most of the decisions were all natural in the moment of what the writers. That's just how they work as a team,
and it shows, and it makes sense. And that's kind of what I look at. Like when I'm watching these shows and you hear me nitpick about the small little shit, like that's the type of shit that needs to evolve and needs to be living in your script. I feel like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad really does that. And they sit back, and as they're filming and they have this script and they've done the read throughs and everything, and they see it and they go, that's just not going to work. We need to do it differently. That's,
And Joe, I know you don't listen to it because you're not like a huge podcast listener, but if you listen to the Better Call Saul Insiders podcast, you are quoting them almost word for word. Then we watch it back. That's not good enough. Or we write it back and we read it back. That's not good enough for us.
Yeah, it shows.
Vince Gilligan comes off as a nice guy.
I've never seen that. I'm going to watch it now.
But he has these asides. You can tell when they're talking. They're in one of those environments where almost like the Beatles were, in the sense where at the beginning when John and Paul were so fucking hard on each other always, and they'd be trying, no, that shit, man. Don't do that shit. You got to give me something better than that. Don't give me that shit. And they all seem to have this kind of reaction towards each other. And when they're talking, they fuck with each other a lot, and they push each other a lot, and they're always pushing to get something better. And they work really hard, but they also work like Matt Stone and Trey Parker do a little bit. They're always in a hurry, and they're always in a rush, and they always feel, oh, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? So there's that sense of magic to it, and their
attention to detail is impeccable, though.
It is. It's beautiful.
Really great.
It shows. It really shows. It really shows.
We got to say welcome to the.
So that you wouldn't be able to do all those episodes and have the writing as good as it is. Mm-hmm. They spend so much time to it. So
let's jump in the chat for a second. Series needs more than 10 episodes. Craft Mama says yes, it's ending soon, but winter is coming. 33 days to Game of Thrones. We got a MTV Game of Thrones video for season 5. What is that? What's up? I was going to post this in the group after, but just came up 90-second recap of season 5. Excellent stuff. Welcome, Walking David. Welcome all of our friends in the chat. It's going to be a really fun couple of months to talk about the end of this season, the end of Vikings, Walking Dead, and then getting into what I think we're more excited to talk about than almost anything, Game of fucking Thrones. And this show, as I said a couple times, for me and for right now, how I feel, my 2 favorite shows on television right now are Better Call Saul and Game of Thrones. Those are the best. I love The Walking Dead. I love a lot of other shows I watch too. Walking Dead is definitely high up there. I enjoy it. But Better Call Saul, it's exactly what I said this a lot last week. It's exactly what I want out of a TV show. It gives me everything I want. It makes me laugh.
It gives me too. Yep.
It tickles me in the right area. So Mike's in the pool, or not in the pool, watching Kaylee in the pool. It's really fun. And right from the sky, I love how this was cheesy and kind of pulpy.
Beautifully done, yes.
The 2 cousins from Breaking Bad, how they always look this way, are standing there watching Mike from the rooftop on the side. I almost felt like I was
silent, like always.
I almost felt like I was in a dream for a moment.
Oh, they're so like beautifully cartoonish.
His whole affect changes as soon as he spots them standing up there. And then they make the motion, of course, the gun to him, and then the gun to Haley, and then they pull the trigger. That they drop the hammer.
Yep, and really amazing fun shit. And Craft Mama says this is a good year for shows, and I'm not even naming all of them. Obviously, we have a great Netflix series with Daredevil that came out. House of Cards. I enjoyed season 4 a lot, and Joe and Kate and I are about that coming up real soon. I'm still enjoying shows that are on television right now. Limitless network shows. Limitless is really fun this season. One of the most underrated shows on television. If people aren't watching it, I think the seasons in general have been very fun.
I can't believe they moved Elementary to Sunday nights. It's going to kill me.
Crazy.
So it is a really awesome. I say it a lot, but it's a really exceptionally fun time to be a television fan right now. So many shows that we aren't even watching yet that we're going to be watching in the summertime when we can catch up, like Leopold and whatever that show is. Happened Leopold.
But
I end up watching that in the summer. So
Michael Kenneth Williams.
And finish Sam sending you some love from the other side of the planet, Craft Mama. Yes, Sam, all love to you. I know Sam's not feeling great today. And so I saw the first season of Better Call Saul. Awesome. Is season 2 better than season 1? Walking David says yes. I enjoy season 2 better than season 1. I feel like
it keeps getting better.
It does.
Every episode.
It's a band that first album was really awesome, but they haven't quite mastered it yet. But then that second album they're just so fucking good at doing what they do now. But it's an improvement, but still awesome in every possible way. We've got a call coming in. Let me jump in this call. Welcome to the show, KLC. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, so I just want to call in and say that this is really a great era for TV shows. And honestly, I kind of feel like Vince Gilligan is credited to some of that because, at least to me, in the 2000s, I guess what we call them, but in the 2000s, I almost felt like it was sort of a dark age of television in a sense. And then, in the 2010s, then Gilligan came through with Breaking Bad, and then shows like Game of Thrones and
the only amendment I'll bring to you, because I agree with you in a huge way, KLC, is that I think because of shows like Oz and The Sopranos, those influenced Gilligan to do what he did. But I agree with you, they were just harder to find. But Vince Gilligan and the success of Breaking Bad really did. And I agree 100% with what you're saying, KLC, that really did
Renaissance
into this renaissance of television. I think also shows, even though they're not as good in retrospect, shows like the first season of Prison Break, the first season of Lost, really got people into watching episode after episode and binge watching these series. And then Breaking Bad capitalized on that and became the best of it all and really got people into this intense way. I feel like obviously the nature of having Netflix and being able to binge watch, but helps. And I think with shows like Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy 2 is another example, got bigger audiences later on in their life because people could go back and binge once that became a thing. But such a great point, KLC, that Vince Gilligan does deserve a ton of credit for being a part of that and being a part of the X-Files, which was also another transitional show into this kind of entertainment.
Yep.
The Shield is another one. The Wire, The Wire. All those HBO shows belong in that discussion. So great point, KLC, as always.
Thank you.
We really are at an amazing point for television, and you're right, in that sort of era post the 80s, early 90s, late 90s sitcom boom, where we got that resurgence of sitcoms with things like Seinfeld, and then If Everyone Loves Raymond, if that was your thing, or whatever your era of those sitcoms, Friends, or whatever there was a lot of really great sitcoms of that era, but hour-long dramas were in a rut of the Law and Order-ness of it all, and people can like Law and Order
and CSI.
But, it was
the repetition of that.
NYPD Blue.
And now we have shows like Better Call Saul and Vikings on. It's amazing. So to get back to Better Call Saul, so Mike gets the fuck out of the pool, pulls her out, to Kim sipping a yummy beverage, making life decisions, as we all do. I make our best life decisions as we're sipping yummy drinks. Making
alone at a bar.
Alone at a bar.
Oh, his best decisions there.
Yep. And best decisions are made there.
She's having that drink that the lawyer that offered her the job wanted her to try. Served traditional copper cup, whatever the fuck it was.
Weird.
So she's back at this fancy restaurant, and she's having the drink that, she's taking a moment to enjoy, to see what it would be like.
She's and she has the business card too, and she's contemplating that whole situation.
Yeah, she's there's a lot of ins and outs are going through the whole duder's mind here, while she's sipping her Caucasian here, Larry. So she's sipping her. That's it. You make a hell of a Caucasian, Larry. So she's sipping the drink, and a dude's kind of watching her. She looks at someone out the window, and she
smooching a woman,
and some other dude. She starts missing Jimmy, I think, in this moment is how I read it. And she sees this other guy, and she goes, what was really fun? What made me feel really good? Doing that thing with Jimmy. And
it doesn't cross her mind until he sends over a drink.
As Joe says, it doesn't cross her mind till this dude asks her to buy her a drink, and he comes over and gets into the whole pickup line. Are you as pretty as this drink, or whatever? What's your name? And she lies about her name and says her name is Giselle.
The same name that she used, and Victor was the name that he used in the con with the Wall Street guy.
Sam says, even though I'm not the biggest Kim fan, I can feel for her in this situation because she feels indebted to Hamlin McGill because they basically brought her through law school, so she can't quite walk out. Great point. 6 Feet Under, it was amazing too. I'm actually not quite finished with that. That's in my circle right now. Great series as well. The Walking Dead, in a very apropos way, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago about its comparison to Better Call Saul and the slow-moving nature and the examining every scene. I feel like 6 Feet Under did that decently too, in the sense before it was a genre unto itself in the way that Vince Gilligan and Breaking Bad has established. I think, again, all those HBO shows, I feel like, and even so much that I've heard Vince Gilligan talk about David Chase and The Sopranos, and I've heard him mention Oz too before. All of those shows have had influences. There's things that he's done on the show where he goes, yeah, Oz did that once too. I like that. So I want to put it on my show. I forget what he was talking about, but it's something of Breaking Bad that happened on Oz too, where he's like, I remember that on Oz, on one of the Breaking Bad Insider podcasts he talks about. So he's definitely influenced by a lot of things, and he watches a lot of stuff and is into a lot of stuff. So he's one of those guys that just tries to suck as much good stuff from as many places as possible. So, Battlescar Galactica, I think people are talking about in the chat too. I know Joe and Katie are huge fans of that.
Oh, it was good for like the first season or two, and then it just it was sorry.
So she's starting to so Jimmy and his assistant, we go after Jimmy and his assistant in the Ninja Pixie, going through every step by step. There's nothing worse. I used to work in a GNC. This is just a weird example. I had a manager who had a way to do it outside of the company book. That was a way that everyone that worked in the shop knew how to do things. We excelled. We had high numbers. We didn't cheat or anything. We just did things. It's like how you stock the shelves. Stupid shit like that. Shit that doesn't make sense. But just a way of doing
shit
things.
That makes perfect sense. How you stock the shelves, where you put the product.
This person comes in that totally wants to change the way the company works because we're not following letter of the law, franchise, blah, blah, blah. And that's what Jimmy's having to go through right here with someone that's crossing he can't do any, it's not even, he can't con. He has to go through every arduous step. There's no Beanie Babies, there's nothing. And he's just sitting there, and Jimmy's life sucks right now.
It's painful. I wanted to stab this girl in the eye with a pencil.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up, this girl, as Tim's back. Shut the fuck up, this girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. As I mentioned earlier, quite a novice when it comes to space stuff. Never seen Star Wars, Star Trek, or Battlestar Galactica, says Sam. As I mentioned, I would start. Joe's head's going to explode, but I would say we talked about this earlier. I would start with probably Star Trek: The Next Generation, or the Star Trek movies, if you're at all interested in getting into that. So ultimately, Jimmy gets a call from his nana. It's important, but it's Kim, and she's playing a con game. She's got a live one.
It's my nana. She's old,
and she needs Jimmy now. Jimmy, come show up. Help her out, Jimmy.
Oh, of course you did.
Oh wait, that's the wrong scene right there.
No problem. I made a new friend, Dale. My brother Victor.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, nice to meet you, Dale. Thanks for this company.
My pleasure.
Victor and Giselle at it again.
Get you a drink.
So what do you do, Dale?
I'm an engineer.
Isn't it awesome how Jimmy doesn't miss a beat? Jimmy comes in here and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and he's just so good.
Oh, he squishes it though immediately. He ends the con. He
ends it because he doesn't want to think of the situation. But ultimately, at the end of it all, she gets a check anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because he goes, "Are you going to cash that check?" And she goes, "No, I'm just going to keep it as a silver dare."
Did it go well today? Please tell me it went well.
Yeah, it went well.
But Joe's right. Ultimately, they play the con game. But I think what I took that as, Joe, because I thought that first, and I rewound it. I think Jimmy was playing a little bit of the, oh no, you don't want to get this.
That's exactly it. I
got the good stuff over here, Joe. You don't want to touch this.
That's the theme of the episode. You even touched on it earlier. Like what you can't have, what you want. Like so, when Jimmy sits down with him, Jimmy immediately says, "You know, she's been dangling the carrot. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you this." And Jimmy says, "You can't have it. You can't have it." And that makes he goes, "Oh, no worries, okay," but like he wants it. He wants in. He wants more money. Bad. He wants it bad.
Kim's good.
And that only made him want it that much more.
So, someone said, "Help! I've fallen and I can't get up." To answer your question, Craft Mama, and hello, my little friend. That's like
you have to make somebody want to give you their money to be the real con. You don't ask them for it. You make them give it to you freely. You don't say, give me this amount of money and I'll go do this stuff for you. That's one way to do it. But the best way to do it is to be like, make this person really make them think it's their idea to hand over their money to you freely and as much of it as they want.
Joe, I agree with you, and it is your destiny.
I always wish I could have been a con man.
Ever since I saw Opportunity Knocks with Dana Carvey, I kind of had.
That's a great movie.
Great movie.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was a great one too.
Wonderful.
To make you want to be a con man.
Jimmy, I've fallen and I can't get back up. I can't get up. Walking Davidson's call back to Breaking Bad commercials with Better Call Saul. Do you know you have rights?
Great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I do have some Star Wars. And hello to Jake. Welcome, Jake. Jake, it is your destiny. So welcome, buddy. So Jimmy shows up and gets a date, and Jimmy handles this situation awesome and super smooth. Again, Joe, at first I was with you that I'm like, oh, is Jimmy putting the kibosh on this? Is he like, Kim's out of her element here? You're out of your element, Donnie. But I think he's trying to help her out in this situation too, and I think he's trying to put the cart before the storm there. Yeah. So welcome back, ALC. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, it's going well. So I just wanted to bring up the whole cup not fitting in the cup holder metaphor. I personally think that's a little too obvious. I mean, normally Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, they're really subtle with their metaphors and great. But I think that this is a little too heavy-handed and they keep on showing. I mean, normally they can just do awesome things subtly. Like, even on the posters, it shows that this whole season is an uphill battle just from one photo. But I just feel like this They keep trying to push this metaphor, and I'm not sure if I like it.
Good point. Good.
Which one? I couldn't really hear him. Something wrong with my speaker.
The cup and the square peg into the round hole metaphor. That's a little heavy-handed, and I tend to agree with you in the sense of they do push that with Jimmy. And okay, if I'm being critical, if I'm putting my critical hat on in the sense of what I analyze what I really love about the show and what I don't necessarily care as much about on the show. With Jimmy, I care more about his social interaction or his interactions with Chuck. When it comes to Jimmy fitting into this career path, I do admit that's one of the points of the show I don't feel invested in because I'm just waiting for him to become Saul. So right. I am kind of like, okay, whatever about that. Mike's stuff, I'm at the edge of my seat through everything. Kim, Howard, Chuck, all that interaction, edge of my seat. Whether Jimmy's going to fit into this world, I agree that that's maybe heavy-handed in a sense that we know the outcome of that. So they push it a little bit in the sense of, and it's the thing I care about the least on the show if I'm ranking them.
Yeah, they're really pushing his struggle and dramatizing it. And it is a little on the nose with the cup holder thing. You know he doesn't fit, and he's really struggling to do it now.
So it's a fair point. I can see where
it's them using that line, you know, I've got nothing to lose, or I'm getting too old for this shit, without having to say it. And they're really putting it out there to make sure you get it because they're not sure if people.
Captain Obvious.
You know, but I think their audience is a lot better at
and I think that's part of it too, because I think on some level, Vince Gilligan is trying to have more fun with this one and not make it subtle in a lot of ways, but he can't help but do it. So in sometimes they just want to, with that, just kind of put it right out there. And but I agree. Maybe it is a little heavy-handed.
And that's just one of the most annoying fucking things about cars and cup holders and your favorite mug, and it doesn't fucking fit. And who hasn't fucking been there?
Yeah,
with just it fits too loose, or it doesn't fit enough, or it's gonna like constantly wax back and like the cup holder. Seriously, that shit is important.
It's so important.
Just from a comedic standpoint, Joe, I couldn't agree with you more. It was funny to watch in that sense of watching our character be in a frustrating, funny situation.
Like he's got everything he wants, but it just fucking really. I can have a $60,000 car, but my fucking cup won't fit in the holder. What the fuck?
Yep. Roar, Jake. Roar.
Seriously.
Even a $10,000 car and my fucking $2 cup of coffee doesn't fit that I have to get every day
at least once. Come on.
Yep. Almost every time I get in my car, I go to a fucking Dunkin' Donuts and that cup ain't gonna fucking fit. I'll be pissed. I'm trading in that car. I'm not buying that car. I bring a Dunkin' Donut cup with me, and I'm like, yep, fits in the cup holder. I'll take it. I don't test the radio. I want to hear the engine and make sure the fucking cup holder works.
I'm with you on that one, Joe. Roar. It would piss me off to no end. I hate shit like that. Roar.
I don't even give a shit if the windows don't work. I want my cup holder to hold the fucking cup.
Roar.
Yeah. Yes. Sam says I was violent with my coffee cup today because it didn't fit. Pissed off.
See?
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sacred. The coffee. Oh, you don't mess with the coffee.
Yeah, you don't mess with it. Whoa! Star Trek is falling. Sorry, guys. I'm all over the place tonight. All over the place. Okay.
I know it's quite the thing to rant about.
Corey wants to add, I do not think it would simply he doesn't fit in, but rather he needs to carve his own way. Jimmy has a compulsion to forge his own path. Excellent point.
Yes. If I don't fit, smash it until I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's KLC says, Phil, you have too many fursuits to not be a furry. Very good point.
If it's broken, break it till
Are you
it works
trying
again.
to tell us something, Phil? It's okay.
Yes, that I'm Harry Stone from Night Court. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's okay too.
I'm totally Harry Stone from Night Court. Okay, or the father from Silver Spoons. I'd totally be that guy if I had
Richie Rich's dad.
I was so pissed. No, it's slightly different. No, Joe, I don't want to get into.
I love Rick Schroeder. I love Silver Spoons.
No, Rick Schroeder on that show was Richie Rich, but the fathers on both things were very, very different.
Yes.
Richie Rich was very Monopoly money guy. The father on Silver Spoons was
very Harry.
was very Harry Stone, was a overgrown kid, and that's why you had the train around the house and all that.
He owned a toy company. That was his big wealth.
Pissed off when he married his assistant and she made him change the house and get rid of all the art.
It was awful. Turned it into a real mansion.
Awful stuff. Holy crass.
Holy crass. It was crass, Holy man. Crass. It was wicked fucking crass.
My favorite episode of sorry, too much Silver Spoon talk. But my favorite episode of Silver Spoon, and again, something that makes me open, I think, but I think it's all makes sense with the Saved by the Bell, Better Call Saul thing, because I think being a fan of Silver Spoons as a kid and being a fan of Saved by the Bell, we were talking about liking con men. It's not just Dana Carvey. It's not just Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's also Rick Schroeder was a con man. He was a Saul. And seeing that being ingrained at an early age, he was a schemer. He was one of those type of people. Or watching Richie Rich, or he was or reading those kind of comics or those type of things. I always appealed, or Garrick on Star Trek or something. Con men appeal to me. Yeah. Why Better Call Saul appeals to me so much.
Yep.
So, awesome stuff in the chat.
Not a great con man movie. Matchstick Men. Katie's dad was in that.
Oh, awesome. Wow, he wants to warg into an animal like you do. Welcome. So much.
It's tough.
It's tough.
They'll put out YouTube instructional videos.
It's tough. My favorite episodes of Silver Spoons was one with Jason Bateman. I love those episodes, and I like the ones with Alfonso Rivera when he as the best friend.
Yep.
My goodness.
I love Carlton through all of his inclinations. He's a funny guy. So Jimmy shows up or I already mentioned that. Okay, so our next scene is our Hector scene. So obviously, let's play that.
Yeah.
Call Saul is brought to you by Verizon.
No, it's not brought to you by anything. Shut up. Shut your whore mouth.
Wow.
His attorney, and you explained to him that my nephew's gun was yours. He ever asked you why you didn't say anything before. You tell him you forgot, you were rattled, make up anything you want, I don't give a shit. But it's your gun.
Yeah. No.
Here's
the thing.
We're gonna listen to this whole scene, but yeah, Joe,
it's great.
He walks in, he's sitting there and he gives this little speech and he says, okay, about my compensation. The guy says, no more compensation. And then he proceeds to make threats, right? It's like,
does he have to eat every goddamn chicken in this place?
Right. Here's the thing. You already made your threat to my life twice now and to my granddaughter's life. So if I'm going to sit here and say you're going to give me $50,000, throw that threat back at me, it's not going to work. You already made that threat. And I came here and I'm saying we can talk about this, but your threat means nothing to me.
Time for some action. At this point, it's time for some fucking action. So
right.
Let's discuss my payment. That time is past. No 5,000 for you.
Oh, 5,000.
How about
don't even $5,000.
Not enough. Oh, you think you can negotiate with me? I say the word, my nephews go to a certain motel, pay a visit to your daughter-in-law and your little granddaughter.
Bluff, or you think he really?
No, of course he would really go.
He totally would really do it. Yeah, I just want to point out in my notes right. I'm on the edge of my fucking seat during this part. Just listening, getting to see Hector talk and seeing the whole Salamanca family there. It was really fucking awesome.
Getting to see him still not all drooling on himself in the chair and everything. So
consider your position carefully. I got my money.
Ding, 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 ding.
Neither of us walk out of here.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. You willing to die for this?
Maybe I need the 50,000 more than you do.
I definitely do.
Yep. this guy.
Se los dije. Tiene unos huevotes.
Huevotes.
Unos huevotes.
Huevotes.
With a mouth like that.
Because I'm a bad fucking motherfucker, dude. Because I'm a bad motherfucker. So you know this is leading to, you want a job? Because you're pretty fucking good at this shit.
Oh yeah, and you know, you need people that can fit into and blend in all different situations. So yeah, it will lead to a job.
Great scene on the edge of my chair the whole time.
Yes.
And I kind of think that's, you know, Phil, I think you hit that right on the head. I think that's a big part to do with why he went in there and took that attitude. Now we see in the next scene another part of the reason he had planned for that money, and we know that he has needs for that money with his stepdaughter, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter. But I think you called it right in that he was taking this as not only an opportunity to make this money, but a job interview.
Yeah.
To put himself out there to be known.
Doors.
And he also is thinking about, I want actually 25,000, but I need 25 to pay the other guy because I need to show them I'm a man of honor. And
right.
Old school.
I keep my commitments.
Right. I said I'd get him to go away for 10 years. He's not going away for 10, probably only about 4.
And then we get this scene.
He finds out we're both dead. You get that, right?
What thing we did?
What thing we did? What thing are you talking about? There's not a thing.
Why are you even bringing it up?
Here it is. He gives him the 25,000.
We made a deal. I didn't hold up my end. Your problem is coming back sooner than we expected.
And so he ultimately pays him the money, that half the money because of the deal. And I think Nacho very smartly takes the money, but is super surprised and gains an extreme amount of even more respect for Mike in that moment. And would come back to him for work in the future.
Yep.
And back to him to work in the future.
So you think they planted? Nah. Nothing.
But no, I'm curious what you're going to say.
It wouldn't even make any sense.
Don't play that game, Joe. Don't play the boyfriend game with me. Of what are you gonna say? Oh, I'm not gonna say it. It's not important. Now it's
something like. Do you think the cartel would have put like microphones in his house? But then, yeah, that just wouldn't make any sense. What are they listening for? Who's he talking to?
He's a lonely old man.
Right.
I think Nacho's fine in this situation. Yeah. So then our next scene is Jimmy and Kim talking about the con. Jimmy's like, what? Why aren't you happy? And but she can't wait to tell him about the job offer. Jimmy wants to be there when she tells Howard, and she wants the job. Who wouldn't want the job? We're both like the same situation. But I keep thinking about you at the end of last season, in the fountain, hanging out in that pool, chilling out, the way you doing everything you wanted to. I made you take that Davidson Maine job because
at the beginning of this season.
And Saul's like, no, that's not why I did it.
So
I did it because of I did it because it's a good job.
Right. It's
because
the
now look,
thing to do.
My house isn't a 5x5 square room. I got a car that's all one color.
You might know a guy who can help.
It's better as a souvenir. I feel maybe, I don't know, touch happier this morning.
Yeah, touch happier.
Maybe smidge, possibly.
Smidge.
I'm totally happy. Why wouldn't I be?
I love the fucking dialogue in this show.
I had a job offer.
So yeah, he goes into the job offer situation here. And I'm going to talk over this a little bit until we get to the end of the part that we're talking about. But he goes on a very awesome rant here, almost like he's repeating a script that he knows that he needs her to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like a mantra, he's telling to himself.
Yep. Good job. Good car. Good house.
Good house.
Right
good
thing.
girl.
Do the right thing.
The way he says boom, bang, boom, like the way he says it too. Like he's selling it to himself. Like he's conning himself.
Like a dead end for me anyway.
Exactly.
Let's listen.
So what's the problem?
What's your problem, Kim? Tell us your fucking problem, woman. Tell us. Say it. Say it.
I keep thinking of you floating in that pool.
Body glistening.
What you wanted.
Whoa.
I mean,
I know what I want. Get in this pool
You
now.
took the Davison Maine job because of me.
Okay, here it is.
I took that job because it was the right decision. Done. A place to live that's more than 5 square feet. Boom.
Boom.
A car that's all one color. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I got what I wanted. And you with
and the look she gets on her face, she misses flipping Jimmy. She misses, like, what attracted to me was you laying in that pool. I mean, yeah, the responsibility sounded good on paper, but ultimately your zest for life. Your zest for doing what you need to do, what you have to do, not repeating this script. And again, I said it a second ago, I'll say it again. When Saul does that, when Jimmy does that, boom, bam, bam, boom, that's him conning.
Selling,
and that's him conning himself in
to being him.
To not being him, to going through the motions, to trying to be this different person. This person he thinks Kim wants, this person he thinks Chuck wants, this person he wants to
feels he's supposed to be. Yeah.
Fucking A. So Jimmy gets in his car and he watches her and he's trying to fit the coffee cup in the thing one more time. It doesn't work. As he gets out, goes to the trunk, gets the tire ironed, and he fixes that coffee.
He makes it fit.
Good. He makes that shit fit. And then he looks. We get the music with and the music kicks in. It's a turnaround. You can just feel the energy of Saul coming through in this moment, and it feels so good. And that is the end of our episode. Craft Mama says, yeah, so true. Makes it even, and that's his charisma coming out, which makes him even cooler, more attractive to Kim. Craft Mama says, yep, so true, because he's in his element. 100%.
Phil, Kim reminded me in this moment, she's being very honest. But she reminded me so much of that archetype Carmela, the soprano woman who, don't go kill people, Tony. Everything we have is bloodied. Thank you for the diamonds. Let's go fuck.
I see what you're saying. If she goes back one more time, I'm with you. If this is legit, and she thought she wanted one thing but discovered she wanted another thing, I'm going to give her a pass for that, because she's got the Jimmy that she said she wanted. And she might be thinking, I don't want that, actually. So I'm going to give her one more pass. If she turns around on him again and goes, don't be a con man again now, then I'll be carrying that that cardboard sign outside her door going, you are Carmela, you are Carmela. but I think, like, at least I read it as just a discovery within herself of what she's thinking about. Her true passion is at Hamlin McGill, is winning that mountain, the mountain that she started from the beginning. That's what she really loves. So when offered with another awesome opportunity that isn't what she really wants, it seems like, why would I ever take the other opportunity? She's thinking about that from Jimmy. I love Jimmy. I want Jimmy to be the person he is. He never really wanted this world. He's only doing it because I said, no, you can't turn down this other fucking job. Same shit spelling back to me right now. So she's kind of coming to grips with wanting to see the best out of the person she loves. And at least that's how I'm feeling right now.
That's exactly right. That's why I said it made me feel like that. But like I said, I started with it. It felt very honest from her, and it felt like a moment that she's of like self-discovery. I didn't quite get there, but
I want to jump in the chat.
That's kind of the way it felt to me. And then like you explained it very well. But yeah, no, she's it just had those tones to me.
So. And let's jump in the chat. Sam says, this is the most honest I've ever seen Kim. She also says, which is why I didn't mind seeing her so much this episode, because I hated her hypocritically older than thou attitude. It says, seeing the previews for next week, are we actually going to see Saul? It looks like that in the suit. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. Critch says, Kim will turn again. She's two people. One, when one is winning, the other comes out. And Lily of the Valley says, Lily of the Fox Valley says, the whole episode is her figuring out what she wants. See, again, we talked about
and Saul. Yeah, they're having the same struggle.
And it's so amazing with this show that more than other ones that we say this about but don't always mean it. We always mean it, but it's a way of explaining a lot of people's perspectives. But this show really, so many things like that can be read in multiple ways. The show does an excellent job of showing you a lot of possible options and analyzing something and being able to take it, because it's truly gray areas. I think that's something great about this.
The depth and dimension, of real life.
Of real life and of Game of Thrones.
And all those small moments, small quiet moments that it's so heavily on just those moments we talked about earlier, that's you know, that's life. That's how it all fits. That's where your strong moments of character development. Like, you make strong choices in public every day, but it's those quiet moments that develop who you are also, you know.
But Joe, Kate,
someday you'll see.
It's that time again.
Bali high.
The sunshine, my head sticking out.
Let's get a couple more chats before we call it a night. And predictions for the show. KLC says Kim moves to Europe, Chuck dies, Nacho dies, Mike shoots and paralyzes Hector, and Gus enters. Oh my gosh.
And Walter White makes meth.
Crap Mama says, I do think Kim will move. Minus Kim moving, I agree, says Sam. Oh no, I think Kim something to screw over Jimmy, but she does stick around in Arizona. She's two people, one's winning. We got a text message. Love this episode. Love the show, guys. Great to see you. Great to see you as well. Oh, me.
Bali high.
Bali high. Bali high. Thank you so much for checking out the show this week as I'm scrolling over to some music. Everybody, thank you so much for checking out the Better Call Saul podcast this week.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the like button. Hit it. Just touch it. Just touch it. It makes you feel good. It makes me feel good. It makes all of us feel good. And share it with a friend as well.
Indeed.
And you can also email me anytime you want at igotissuesman@gmail.com. You can also reach me or reach me at Twitter at igotissuesman, or reach Joe at Dirty Locks, and reach Katie on the Google Plus at Katie Crow. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Craft Mama, Sam, KLC, a couple of other people I saw popping. Critch is in there. Lily of the Fox Valley. Tim I saw in there tonight as well. A bunch of other people I saw popping. Big Kev earlier. Also huge thank you to Big J for calling in and leaving a message about the episode. FJ Guy, 2 in the chat. Thank you to everybody. We will be back next week to talk about some more Better Call Saul. But if you haven't already too, and you want to join one of our gaming channel where you can see myself, Stephanie, Joe, Papa Bear, Larry, Katie's pops in those videos as well, doing any of the gaming streaming, you can check that out on Dirty Issues Gaming. You can also, we're going to be doing a lot more of the Pokken tournament if you're into that. And Joe has been playing what's it called again? I'm blanking.
Right now it's Tom Clancy's Division, but soon it will be Uncharted 4.
Excellent. So you guys can check that stuff out. And as always, please join the Friends of Phil community on Google Plus, or also find Phil the Issues Guy or Phil's Recap and Review on Facebook. And pretty much if there's one of those fucking things, you can find me if you search Phil the Issues Guy. So you can find us at all those places. Thank you to everybody, and thank you especially to everybody in the chat room. And thank you to everybody, and big huge high fives and love and hugs to Craft Mama's son. Hope he feels better.
Yeah, feel better.
And hopefully, Sam, you feel better as well too.
Oh,
and
everyone feel better.
Yes, everyone feel better. It's the sick part of the season. Sick. Phil, when is Daredevil going to be? I haven't finished Daredevil yet, so I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but it is coming soon.
I got the one more episode.
Yeah.
We're on
it's
episode
a
13.
good season.
I have about
good season.
Shut your mouth.
Fucking Shane.
I don't want to hear a word. Blah, blah, blah. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't handle it.